The first question is that during the conference, we saw a presentation from Kambi. They are your customer, and they are a sports betting business. And I'm sure you're not focused on sports betting business. So can you tell us a little bit more about your focus? What kind of customers use your technologies?
Yeah, it would be a big bet if Vertica was only in the sports betting business. But yes, Vertica actually has hundreds of customers around the world in many markets. We're widely used in financial services, healthcare, biotech, retail, manufacturing, transportation, energy, utilities, communication, media, and entertainment, which includes a lot of gaming, ad tech, and most of the world's largest telco companies.
Okay. So what's unique in your technologies? Why customers choose Vertica?
Mainly, it comes down to great analytics, fast queries, and low costs. We have over almost 700 built-in analytical functions, including geospatial, time series, and machine learning. We have blazingly fast speed from our columnar storage and optimized architecture that enables queries to run 10 to 50 times faster. And we can save money by storing 10 to 30 times more data with advanced compression algorithms that reduce disk space up to 90%. So basically, Vertica is a unified analytics platform built on an ACID-compliant SQL database that has a query engine that can query data wherever it resides.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the next question is about the bigger trends in the big data world. And can you tell us what trends, from your perspective, are the most important right now?
Right now, it seems to me the ongoing evolution of both the data lake and the cloud is of most interest to me and to us. The first version or the early versions of data lake were essentially built around Hadoop, and a massive ecosystem evolved around that to deal with storing data in various formats, mostly on-premise and in HDFS. The next generation, so to speak, of a data lake that's continuing to evolve is giving rise to a similarly complex ecosystem where the data is now stored initially mostly in the public cloud, exploiting its separation of storage and compute, and using object store for the storage of data in various formats instead of HDFS. Initially, we saw this in the public cloud, but we've seen that cloud comparable architectures that are able to exploit the separation of storage and compute, can do the same type of things on premises. So we're seeing true private clouds, on premises implementations using that similar architecture, as well as a drive towards the realization that hybrid architectures are really the future in terms of the convergence of public, private, and hybrid architectures, based on the business reality that not all data can be migrated to the public cloud. Part of that ongoing evolution of both the data lake and the cloud is, I think, our evolution of our understanding that the value of big data comes not from collecting a lot of it conveniently co-located in one massive repository, but dealing with the concept of data gravity, which is realizing that the bigger the volume of data, not only is it difficult and expensive to move, but every time you risk moving it because there's a lot of things that have been caught in its gravity well. The applications, the business processes, the data governance policies, the business intelligence tools and analytical tools. So we're looking at needing to make more use of instead of trying to centralize data and move it unnecessarily, let's try to do as much as we can with data where it resides, whether that's on premises or in the cloud or distributed throughout the enterprise.
Okay, so you said you named the trends, and can you tell us how the Vertica adapts to it and fits how your technology fits to these trends?
For us, it's enabling enterprises to be data-driven without requiring unnecessary data movements. And unnecessary is probably the key word there. There are going to be times where it is necessary to move data, usually, especially during that last mile of data delivery where you need to get data close to the consumers. in order to be able to load data into a database capable of handling high concurrency and rapid response needed for analytical queries. But again, as part of that, eliminating unnecessary data movement, however you cloud, Vertica clouds too. So we're in public, private, and hybrid implementations, and our query engine can query data wherever it resides. We're also infrastructure agnostic, so it's very easy to spin up one of our databases as close to the data as you need it to be. It's also very, we're described by some of our customers as having the most efficient database on the market, because all of our functionality is built in. There's not additional add-on products to install or configure. Everything's included for free, no additional cost, no add-on tools. So you can get a very efficient database packed with a lot of analytical functionality that you can move as close to the data as you need it to in order to be able to minimize that data movement. Also, as part of our overall architecture, whether or not you're loading data into us, directly into Vertica or not, we really pride ourselves on doing more with less. Part of the promise of the cloud, which is being exploited necessarily for big data, is that separation of storage and compute. But the consumption model that invites can really lead to runaway costs when you're scaling up unnecessarily. So our ability to efficiently store data means we don't scale more than we need to. We can make the most of whatever resources you happen to have for storage. And the same thing for compute. We don't like just throwing compute at slow running queries. We have more optimized ways of using the existing infrastructure and resources. And that way we can satisfy both the requirements for performance and cost savings. Because we're certainly not going to have any less data anytime soon. But we don't want to answer the challenges of big data by creating big bills for the scalability of storage and compute.
Okay, that were the questions. But if it's possible, I would like to ask one more bonus question.
Go for it.
About what do you think will be the next big thing in the data analytics world? Can you speculate?
The next big thing. I think it's maybe bringing machine learning to the masses. I mean, we see a lot of people talking about advancements in machine learning and artificial intelligence. And early on, I mean, this is going back almost 10 years now, but there was a famous article in the Harvard Business Review that claimed that data scientist would be the sexiest job title of the 21st century, which led to a lot of overhiring for a lot of very qualified data scientists, but a lot of organizations that weren't quite ready for that yet. And a lot of the early days of data science, it was very much a for us, by us type of thing, where a lot of tools were built for data scientists by data scientists, which limited the penetration of data science and machine learning into the organization. We're seeing a lot more movement in the industry, open source tools and other frameworks to really make machine learning more accessible to less technical audiences. I mean, you're still going to need there's still a lot of advanced mathematics and statistics and computer science elements involved, but there's some things that you can really help to get jump started with applying machine learning to business problems without having to be a data scientist to do it. So I think we talk a lot about the democratization of data and modernization of analytics. I think we're going to see the democratization of machine learning and data science brought down to, not dumbed down, but brought down to a way that less technical or less data scientists by trade people can do. And we're starting to see lots of inroads in that, and that's pretty exciting to us.